everybody out there. This is Goldfinger from the Goldfinger Minute, and today I have Gary Accardo.
Hey.
Did I say it right?
Said it right.
Thank God.
Yeah.
It's the Accardo.
Accardo. That's right.
Gary, welcome.
Thank you.
It's as you can see, sunrise. We're early morning. We're
boy.
both sipping on coffee.
That's why I'm wearing my sunglasses. The
And
sun's a little too bright.
You even had time to go to Starbucks, which you didn't bring me any.
Oh, well, I wasn't sure if your sugar thing,
Yeah. Well, you can get it without sugar.
I thought about buying you a black, but
I have stevia I use. So Gary, welcome.
Yeah.
We're going to talk to Gary about a lot of things. He just got back from Vietnam.
just returned from Vietnam. That was an adventure.
What other short trips have you gone on besides the U.S.?
Well, Japan. Went to Japan once, maybe twice, and
Go ahead.
And been throughout China. Been in Korea.
Cool.
So I've been all over.
Oh, you have. Now, how long have you been in the Philippines?
Since 2019, I'm proud to say.
Oh, a fairly long time.
Pretty long time.
Yeah.
Before
Compare me.
COVID hit.
Yeah, before COVID. Okay.
Before COVID.
And I know you bought some property. Did you build a house or did you buy it with a house on it? And where's the area?
I live in San Jose, Philippines, of course, and that's a little bit north of Dumaguete. Takes about 10 minutes to get to the airport.
San Jose. Okay.
Good location.
So
sleepy town.
About 10 minutes north of the airport. And the airport is a little bit on the north end, too.
That's right.
Of Dumaguete.
Yeah.
All right.
So I bought a house there that was built by a German guy.
Uh-huh.
And he got scared off because he was elderly by COVID. So that house sat empty for 2 years, and it was built, and I snapped it up. I was looking at it for a rental. But then when I found out kind of how much it was, I just thought, you want to sell it? And I bought it.
Oh, cool.
I don't like paying rent.
Well, I know. Well, at my age, I don't care. I'm not going to be around, so I'm not looking for an investment. But you wanted to do improvements and stuff. And I understand you had actually another property. You had two properties, or it was a very large property, because you had a river in the back.
Well, that's the one I have now.
Okay.
It's a large property. It's about 1,200 meters. It seems large to me.
That's pretty large compared to most of them were 500 meters or less.
Yeah. Yes. It's very comfortable. And when I moved in, I needed to make some changes, so I put a full wall all the way around the place.
Oh, wow.
Just to keep mostly the dogs out.
Okay.
Did that. The house only had a one bathroom, so we added out. I wanted an outdoor bathroom, and I wanted an outdoor shower.
Okay.
Because we're living in the islands.
Yeah.
My house is kind of in a jungle almost, so I wanted the outdoor shower.
Especially if you have workers over, you don't want to come in the house.
Workers, so far no
bathroom.
workers took a shower, but the kids, the kids
use the bathroom.
I like having the master for the master.
Right.
That's me.
So the house you said was about how many? What size did you say?
The house is about 115 square meters. I think.
How many bedroom and bathroom?
Three bedroom, one bath, and a kitchen.
Okay.
All nice, and then that's why we needed a second bathroom. So.
All right. Now, how long have you been married? Because I know you're married.
So I did everything backwards. I had a kid, and then COVID hit, and So my son Sammy, beautiful boy,
I've seen him.
Beautiful wife now.
Right.
We just recently married last June.
Oh. So it was recent marriage.
Recent marriage.
Okay.
June 10th. We had to jump through a ton of hoops, but we did everything backwards. I had the baby, then I bought a house. Never buy a house in the Philippines, but I bought one. Then
How were you able to buy the house in the Philippines? I know my viewers are going to ask you, how were you able to obtain ownership?
Well, okay, so obviously as a foreigner, I can't actually own it. So I could own the house, but not the property.
Interesting. Okay.
So one thing I did is, we have a son together.
6 years old now?
He's 5. He just turned 5.
Turned 5. Okay.
When I bought this house, he was about 3. What we did was, so he's a dual citizen. I put the house in his name, and Angie, my wife. At the time we weren't married, but put the house in his name, Samuel.
Oh.
And then.
So you could put a house with a minor.
Because he's a Filipino. He's a Filipino American.
And that doesn't, you can't do that. I'm pretty sure you can't do that in the U.S. Have a minor on title unless it was through a will or a estate planning
Yeah,
type thing.
And of course, at that time, he wasn't in nursery school. Now he could write his name. Before he couldn't write his name. So what had to happen was Angie had to sign as his legal guardian, my current wife now, and then I also signed as his guardian. So we have a house title in my son's name.
Interesting.
And Angie's name, so they're both connected. And then I put, of course, a long lease on it.
For yourself.
Yeah. I put a long lease on
50
it. 20,
year?
25 year.
Okay.
I have the option to go 50 if I think at 25 years I'd be about 85 maybe.
Everybody's going to do the math now. Okay.
I don't know.
So you're at 60-ish now?
My age?
Yes.
Oh, I'm at this June. I got the same month as you on the birthdays.
Happy birthday.
I'm going to be this June 25th. I'll be 68.
Oh, really? You don't look at it at all. Good for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I'll be
a clean Filipino living.
June 2nd for me.
Yeah, June 2nd.
69.
In a couple days.
I know.
Yeah, so you're a year older than me.
Well, technically a few days. Let's not say that.
Oh, wait a minute.
Well, you're
going to be 69.
Oh, yeah, you're going to be
I'm
68.
Gonna be
I have a year and a couple weeks. Okay,
Yeah.
You're right.
So I respect you as my elder.
Okay, I'll remember that if we go out for lunch.
Yeah,
okay, so
don't forget to ask for the senior discount at Cafe Racer.
Yeah, Cafe. There are restaurants here that give you discounts, and I forget to ask them all the time.
I ask every time.
You do?
Except for the ones that are the little mom and pop shops that you don't want to rip them off. But the big restaurants.
Yeah.
That's the bigger ones.
If they're big ones, if they're a chain
Anything
or stuff.
at the mall.
I know that Starbucks, I think, does that. And did you ask Starbucks?
Yeah, Starbucks. No.
No, they won't do it? No. Oh, Tom Tom's did it for me all the time.
Maybe Tom Tom's. But
They did.
The big Popelos and Cafe
But now
Racer.
Tom Tom's is gone. You know that.
Lantels won't do it. They're
really?
big, but they're kind of more Filipino food. So they'll give it to you if you're a senior Filipino.
But not if
And
you're
I'm
an
like,
American.
come on, man. I thought it had to do with age, not with where we were born.
Right.
Come on. So
what they take your driver's license, the ones that do, they take your driver's license. They make sure you are who you say you are.
Oh, yeah.
Because just the other day we had lunch at Cafe Racer, and
that's right.
And you said your senior discount. And I says, well, I don't have the Filipino senior card. He says, no. You don't need that.
Yeah.
You can
just your driver's license.
Just your driver's
ACR.
license. They'll do it for anybody that's a senior.
Yeah,
some do,
right.
some don't. All right. So back to your house. I went off on a tangent.
Oh,
there.
you go off on tangents. I don't care. I'm the same like you. We both got ADT or something.
I swear to God.
ADHD or whatever.
Everybody says I talk too much. It's true. I do.
Well,
so that's why I have a channel. Anyway.
So do I. Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So back to your house now. You're living in that house since 2000.
This is going on the third year.
Third year. Okay. So,
Third year.
And
No rent.
You paid cash for it?
I paid cash. That part was kind of a hassle, but not really. I just wire transferred money out of my U.S. Keep your money in the U.S. banks.
Right.
Use Charles Schwab, whatever.
Yeah.
I did a wire transfer, and we went into the bank with the owner and paid her a partial cash and partial check. She wanted partial cash.
Okay. And partial. Do they have checks here? Or is it a money order?
No, money order, bank money order. I bank at Commerce. Nice manager named Manny.
All right.
Always working. You ought to talk to Manny. They won't ask you where'd the money come from. I could introduce you to Manny.
Okay.
He's
I'm at BDO, but BDO sometimes I can't put cash in the account. If I get cash, I can't deposit cash without showing where I got it from.
Yeah,
and if
that's ridiculous.
I know, and a lot of times I get cash for other things, other reasons, because Carolyn does the bike rentals. They pay in cash,
right?
And I can't show because really they're not going to accept a Carolyn receipt, receipt from Carolyn. So and we're not married, so it's crazy. Anyway, onward. Anyway, so you've done some. Well, can I ask how much you actually paid to purchase this home?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Sure. You can ask. I don't know if I'll tell you, but.
Yeah, right.
You want it in pesos or dollars?
Dollars.
About 80 grand.
80 grand.
Yeah.
Okay. That seems reasonable enough for a house. And that's a big piece of property.
It's the property, I sold my property in the U.S. It was about 3 acres. So that's about a hectare here. Here, I bought about a third of that. So to me, it still felt like a big property.
Yeah.
The back wall, I put it on this side of the river. I didn't want to take a wall over a natural river, of course.
Okay.
But we got about 60 feet beyond my back wall, where there's a nice little river running
You should
through
mark
there.
it with, did you mark it?
It's marked.
Okay.
I had everything.
You don't mark it, you
surveyed.
lose it type of thing? Possibly.
Well,
They do in the States. I
yeah,
know
there's
that.
a lot of guys, a lot of kuyas go back there and cut out bamboo. Not on my property, but
So you have an access to the back to the
there's
river?
I put a back gate and
Okay.
a nice little a pad out there.
You fix the house up?
Fixed the house up a little bit, repainted the whole outside. It matches yours. It's kind of yellow and white
Okay.
and red roof.
All right.
And then we added the outdoor shower, which I love that. It's just a walk-in shower, outdoor. You're in nature, pretty cool. I use it occasionally if I'm
All
working
right.
outside. But interior, we did do some. We added some dual pane windows where there was just like a dirty kitchen window. In other words, no windows.
Okay,
in
we're
an
going to
opening.
move back in
Yeah.
time. What
We
did
are.
you do in the States when you were working?
When I was working, I was I retired out of a local refrigeration, local 250.
Uh-huh.
It's in Los Angeles.
Okay.
And I was air conditioning pipe fitter.
Pipe fitter, so you're part of the union.
I was
The
a
pipe
union
fitters
member.
union.
I was a union member, pipe fitter, local 250. There might be some guys out there.
Yeah, I've
And,
known some pipe fitters actually. So yeah.
Good union job.
Uh-huh.
And
How many years?
I had 18 years in total.
That's
with
a lot.
with that union.
That's a lot. Yeah.
And before that, I was doing plumbing, stuff like that. Yeah.
And you said refrigeration.
Refrigeration,
Commercial.
air conditioning, and commercial work.
Yeah.
Military bases, hospitals.
Oh, really? So all commercial work. That's good
all
pay.
commercial
That's
work.
good
yeah,
pay.
good money. Good money. Even better now.
Did they give
Rates
you a
of-
pension? Do you get a pension?
I have a pension.
and
So
retirement.
I live on a pension and Social Security.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of my income comes from investments on my house sale. Let's put it to you that way.
Okay.
Had a house, rental property in the back, and I sold all that when I came to the Philippines.
Why? We're going to go back. Why?
Okay.
Why the Philippines? You sold it all
Oh,
off. I
well-
get it. You sold it all off. You came to the Philippines, but why?
Well, why did I come to the Philippines?
Yeah, what made you choose the Philippines?
What made me choose it? Because I had already been through Korea, already been through China a few times.
Uh-huh.
And I noticed, number one, in China, nobody really speaks English. And where I was in the northern part, because I went into, of course, Beijing, seen the Wall, Palace Museum. And
So you were a tourist.
I was a tourist and just kind of going in and out of there. But really, nobody spoke enough English. You always had to use Google Translate. It was a big hassle. Although I loved it, they had great food, great sights to see. But it wasn't working out for me. I was actually kind of maybe looking for a new relationship, a wife. I had been divorced. So 10 years went by. I figured I'm retired now from work. I'm going to travel. So I did. And I realized China, Korea, it's just not working for me. Plus, everybody walks around with umbrellas,
And masks.
to keep out of the sun.
Yeah, they don't like sun.
And I kind of did.
And masks in China because the air's no good.
Yeah, well, that's why. And the umbrellas
That was
are
way before COVID. They always wore masks.
way before COVID.
Yeah.
They wore masks. I wasn't into that. And I wasn't into the pure white skin.
But you could find a good Chinese wife, I'm sure. It was a
well,
language barrier.
There was, yeah.
That's the problem,
Yeah.
mainly.
It-
Language problem.
There was a language barrier, and everybody's so white, and
Are
that's
they?
why a lot of the people have osteoporosis. Most of the women.
It's
not-
funny how we have sun tanning salons in the U.S. and everybody,
yeah.
everywhere I go, everywhere else, even Thailand,
Yeah.
Mexico, they try to block the sun.
They try to block the sun, but it's kind of like opposites attract.
Yeah.
If you got curly hair, you want straight hair. If you got straight hair, you want to have curly hair.
It's just
Most of the
crazy.
women are like that.
We're human.
But
being
ultimately, I bounced around to different places as I retired, and retirement for me came early at about 52.
Okay.
I actually broke my back on the job, on a union job at Cal Poly in California.
How we got to go there?
A job injury, work injury.
No, but how did you break your back? That's pretty serious. Did you fall off a ladder? Or?
No, it didn't. I took a fall lifting some heavy equipment, and my back just, I don't know if it gave out or a disc crushed, but it fell,
You damaged the spine.
damaged my spine.
You're
Had to
okay
have,
now?
I'm okay now. I'm sore, but I had to have 4, 5, 6 surgeries,
Oh, wow.
multiple surgeries in my back. And I retired at about 52. I was injured.
Now, why didn't you? I'm going to ask you, or maybe you did. Why didn't you take Social Security Disability (SSD)?
Okay, so when you first get injured, you have to go through the process. And I went, like I say, multiple surgeries and treatments and therapy. When that's all done, then I converted to a permanent disability.
You did?
Yes.
Okay.
And I received my Social Security
Okay.
and my union pension
At
early,
the same time.
At
Okay.
the same
That's what I
time,
was going to think.
along
you
with
would do. Yeah.
Medicare. So normally
There
you
you
can't
go.
get on Medicare until you're 65.
Yeah, I got hurt early
Yeah,
too.
did you?
I got on a truck. Yeah.
And you ended up with Medicare?
I had a
Early?
SSD, and you had to wait 1 year, but yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had Medicare.
So I was able to, now I didn't get anything out of the injury. I didn't want anything, but what I do have is lifetime medical. There's no money like there used to be. Excuse me. There's no money like there used to be. You think you're going to get some large settlement. It would have been nice, but what I received was my pension early, my Social Security early, and after I was healed, it enabled me to start traveling around and start bouncing around the different parts of the world, and that's kind of how I ended up in the Philippines.
Okay, but the
Full
Philippines,
pension.
the Philippines because of the language.
The Philippines, I was just watching videos or something way back.
Ricky.
Well, there was Ricky. I couldn't get into that, because I'm thinking, this old dude's like getting 18-year-olds. It was just.
You weren't into the 20-year-olds.
I have 3 beautiful daughters from a previous
marriage.
So
I was going to ask you that. I forgot.
I can't take advantage of women.
Do you
like
see
that.
your daughters back in the States?
I do. I'm very close to them. We talk a few times a week.
And your ex-wife, are you close to her?
We're not enemies.
We're talking terms. We're just talk.
One of my daughters, my youngest daughter, who just recently lost her husband, but my youngest daughter is her mom lives with her on her property. She has a big property up in the desert, and she lives with my daughter now. So we're cordial. We don't hate each other.
You said
She's remarried.
Your youngest is how old?
Now, my youngest daughter is 33.
Oh.
Then my next daughter's 35.
Okay, so you're not paying alimony and
I did.
You did pay alimony, but
I did my time.
And child support.
And I waited 10 years after that before I decided to start traveling, and I'm done with all that.
No ghosts in the closet.
I never had hard feelings.
Yeah.
The only thing is when they awarded all that alimony and child support, I realized my union job now is not paying enough. That money that I'm getting weekly or monthly it was right around $5,000. It's not enough to pay her because she was taking about half what I had to pay out. So I decided I need to make that much a week. If I got to pay $2,500 a week, I need to go out. So I became a plumbing
$2,500 a month or
$2,500 a month.
Yeah, I'm going to correct it.
I had to go out and I wanted to make that in a week. So I did. I opened up a plumbing business. Waterworks plumbing.
You did?
And did that for about 7-8 years.
To augment the income.
It increased my income big time. I was a small contractor out there, and I had a ton of connections and made a boatload of money. And then
was that with the public or commercial as well?
That was mostly residential, some commercial.
So you
I took care of a lot of commercial businesses, where they need things fixed,
All right.
In a commercial building, there's always.
At what point did you get the disability?
So
Social
then
Security.
the economy took a turn. I was thinking this was around during Bush time. Economy took a turn and the market just crashed. Housing went down and the work just dried up as far as doing repipes and side work. People weren't remodeling. They didn't have the money. So I decided to go back in the union, and I took a 2-year job at a different company. I won't name the company, but I didn't go back to work for Los Angeles Air.
Okay.
I went to work for another company. And when I did, I don't know, I was there about 2 years, then the injury happened.
That's when it happened.
Yeah.
So you were with pipe fitters the whole time. You just
the whole time.
And would you stay with the pipe fitters while you had your own business or not?
No, I took what they call leave.
A short leave.
Yeah,
you did your own business, made good money.
Then I didn't retire. I just kind of pulled out of the hall and went to have my own.
You didn't have to make the monthly dues.
No, didn't have to pay my dues. I just put everything on hold with the union. And then I decided, man, this waterworks plumbing thing's kind of drying up. Work just slowed way down. So I went back to work for the union.
Okay.
And that's when I was injured. This was for a different company. And,
2 years on the job.
A couple years on the job. It happened at Cal Poly College, and it was a real bummer. It's never fun to get hurt.
No, and
back surgeries.
You were much younger. What age were you at that time?
Oh, I'd have to do some math. Let me see. This happened in 2009, and this is 2025.
Oh,
so we're talking about 15 years ago.
15 years ago.
15,
okay.
16 years ago, and I'm 68, 67
16 years
now.
ago. Okay.
So maybe when I was 52, 53.
Okay, so you're still pretty young, and you should have been active. You should be able to do an income, but you couldn't.
I still have hair.
Yeah, I mean, you still are physically active in your 50s.
It's not pure white, but it's,
my hair, I'm going to be honest, my hair is not my natural color. I'd have lots of gray. I color my hair.
Well, I know you, but who does your hair anyway?
Well, we'll talk about that. It's local guy, I'll tell you.
I was going to say, I didn't think they had a hair color guy out here.
They do.
You go to a salon.
I go to a salon, and the guy's very good. He's not gay at all. It's weird. You would think, okay, it's a gay guy because he does hair. No, he's very macho.
That's very discriminatory. Just because you do hair don't mean you're gay. But
well, I'm so old school, Yeah,
I know. Me too.
But he's not. He's a regular guy. He's really good, and he's not expensive. So, real quick, I do my hair. It costs like every couple months, and I do highlights too. Yeah. Okay, and he also will color my beard, mustache, and if I want my eyebrows. Okay,
trim your eyebrows. Yeah, they do it all. Plus, you should get the back massage too.
Well, I don't do back massage. I don't like guys giving me massages.
Really?
That's just a little weird.
But you'll let them color your eyebrows and your hair.
They'll touch the hair. They do the hair, but that's it. Okay, and on my head. And let's make that clear.
Of course. Let's not go there.
Let's not go there. So 800 pesos. So that's, what is that, $14? That's
pretty, 800 pesos.
It takes 2 to 3 hours. It takes usually 3 hours.
That's very cheap.
I know, because he washes it, he washes the hair, then colors it. After the color, he washes again, then brings me back. Then he does highlights. Yeah. After that, they have to wash it a third time.
And you're naturally curly.
Yeah, I'm naturally curly. Okay. So they have to wash my hair 3 times. It's a 3-hour event.
800 pesos is very cheap. That's part of the reason why I'm here.
And I give him a 200 peso tip because he works on me for 3 hours. And he's very meticulous. He'll trim the beard and make straight lines, and I don't like sideburns, so he'll take those off.
Any worker might make 300 to 500 peso here. So if you could give him a 200 peso tip,
that's a big tip.
Everywhere I go, I try to tip, even in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Now, China, they don't take tips. You try to talk them into it.
No tips in China.
They're not allowed to take.
They're not allowed.
They're not allowed. You really got to fight it and try to put it in the girl's hand. But, in most countries, like, say, for instance, Vietnam, I always left a tip equal to like a day's wage.
Now, we kind of left off. We finished.
We're talking about your hair.
Well, I know, but we were talking about. Okay, we're talking about your
salon. I think it was, wasn't it?
For me?
Was it David Salon?
Okay. No, I'll have to think about the name of it, but I have to look it up. I can't remember it right now. Yeah. So I remember it's a salon. I can't remember.
Little plug.
Yeah, it's across from Evermall. Anyway, for the viewers' sake, it's not going to mean anything to them because they're not here.
Nobody's getting their hair colored here, but you. Goldie.
No, I don't think I'm the only one that does it.
Probably not.
I've seen other men go in there, so yeah.
I'm going all natural. Whatever happens. I don't care.
That's good. So you have good color hair and plenty of it.
And moving to the Philippines, my hair used to be longer. I'd have it kind of over my ears and down on my neck. But then I realized, man, I'm getting all sweaty. I'd ride my bike and walk into a restaurant, and I'd be just drenched, and my hair would look terrible.
There's more subjects I need to talk to you about.
Oh, let's go.
One, you just mentioned it, the bike. I bought your old bike.
That's right. You stole my old bike.
I gave
that thing to you.
Okay, I stole your old bike.
And that's okay.
And as I remember, I don't have it anymore. What was it?
You sold it. You sold it for.
I resold it.
A couple thousand more than I bought it for. You made a huge.
That's what I do. I don't know about huge. I mean, to me, huge profit.
I should get a tax write-off on that.
Now you're going to want to get paid for this interview. But in any case, you bought. Oh, was it the ADV? I can't remember. But you ended up buying the Yamaha.
Got the 300X.
Yeah, the X-Max, 300 cc.
Yeah.
And you love it.
I love it. I bought it mostly for the seat. I bought it for the seat.
Comfortable
for the motor,
seat.
But it's so comfortable. I'm a big guy, 6'2", 230 pounds now, and the seat is amazing. Plus, you could get a couple more people on it.
And the ride is smooth.
The ride's so smooth, and it's a 300, so it's a little bit peppier.
Do you ever get a chance to open her up?
Oh yeah, I've when I open it up, going up through Bais and stuff on the open highway, I might put it up to 100. Cruising at 100.
100 kilometers.
100 kilometers.
Uh-huh.
That's, I think, 65 miles an hour, which
and it takes that. It should take that easily. I'm sure it'll go faster than that.
I've had it up to 120. Yeah. That's my max. The thing is about bikes, Goldfinger, I mean, I rode some Harleys back in the States, and they're nice because you could go 100 and cruise. But here, you got to remember a tire is man-made. And if you have a blowout or some dog
at 80,
or cat,
even at 80 kilometers,
you're gonna get
you got to
hurt.
wipe out. You got to wipe out.
Even if you just tip
or if
over.
you hit debris, or if you hit a dog.
If you hit a dog.
Which just happened. You were just telling me when you got here you hit a dog.
Well, that was in my car that I just
Yes,
purchased.
but it could happen in a bike just the same.
It could happen on a bike. Dogs run out in front
Dogs
of you.
do run out.
Chickens.
Yeah, chickens.
I almost hit a goat the other day.
Oh, my God.
Some guy, I can't believe it.
Make sure I'm not crossing the street when you're coming.
This guy, this guy had the guy had his goat tied to his property line, so the goat's like halfway out in the slow lane, Yeah, he should, tie him off in your yard, not on the side of the street.
So, yeah, I have that here.
On the diversion highway.
On diversion, main highway.
Oh, yeah. You got to be careful in the Philippines.
Did you kill the goat?
No, I didn't even hit him, but I swerved real hard.
Oh, wow.
And I was in the car.
All right. Well, at least you didn't kill the goat.
I haven't. I've been here 6 years. I've never crashed a bike in my life, even in the States. And I haven't crashed one here. But you came real close.
So you rode in the States as well.
Rode in the States, and big bikes.
Bikes,
the Harleys.
So why did you go for scooters here instead of a clutch?
Well, because they don't sell Harleys, and no, I don't have I got a scooter. Because number one, I'm older. we tend to get arthritis in our hands, and I got the scooter because they're so easy to ride. And around here,
they are.
If you're shifting and all that stuff, it's so much safer to ride a scooter
it's
automatic.
More stuff. You can
CVT transmission.
Yeah,
it's easy.
Right. And it's belt driven also, right?
It's
not a chain driven.
Like the ADVs,
yeah, it's belt driven.
PCXs.
It's smoother. It's much smoother with the belt.
They run about 291,000, so that's about
pesos.
$5,000 or something.
Yeah, 291,000 pesos.
Yeah.
290,000 pesos.
Something like that.
Yeah,
300,000.
And did you put a box on it?
Didn't put any box.
Didn't do anything.
The seat is so huge underneath. You could put. It has like
a lot of space.
25 liters under the seat.
So you can put two helmets.
And
cool.
Rain gear. I haven't put a box yet.
Okay. Maybe. Now we're going to move on to something else because I know you did. There's so much to talk about. But you've done a lot. Okay. You've done a lot.
I've had a blessed life.
We're going to talk about Vietnam, but in a moment. First, I want to know about your precious metals. You had asked me a year ago about precious metals, and I told you, buy some gold, buy some silver.
Yeah.
And you did buy, and your father did buy some gold. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about that.
Back in, I don't know, this was just last year.
Yeah, it was a year ago.
My dad decided to buy some gold.
Uh-huh.
And he did. He got it about 1950. And I'm thinking, oh, man, that's crazy. Because when I'm sitting around watching the gold shows, back then, 5 years prior, gold was, anywhere from 800 to 1,200. Then all of a sudden, when you see it go to 1950, so my dad snapped up a bunch. I got some gold piled up, just a jewelry and stuff like that, a little bit of gold coins, stuff like that, but nothing major.
You don't have investment bullion?
I've been buying, nothing big right now.
Okay.
So I don't have big, like.
You just have jewelry. You have some jewelry that's gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This I have jewelry and coins. And
you're used to the Chinese, Asian culture is you buy 22, 24 karat gold and you wear it.
That's
okay.
Yeah. The Chinese gold's real yellow. It's 22 or pure.
Yeah, 24 karat is pure. So
what I've been doing here is when Palawan opens up a sale, I buy the gold.
Okay.
They'll have a lot of my chains that I have now that I'm collecting them because if something happens to you in the Philippines, you could always use this for money.
That's Asian culture.
It'll get a ticket out of here, but everything here is 18 karat.
Yeah.
So anyway, I didn't get in like, say, my father did and bought a bunch. So now all of a sudden, what's it at, 33, 34?
Mm-hmm.
It's climbing.
Yes, it is.
At about 29.
You haven't seen the peak yet.
I haven't seen the peak. So when it was about 29, I was thinking about getting a kilo just to have it because I figured maybe it'll go to 45. Well, then what happens, I held back on my money as far as buying that because of a couple reasons with immigration in the Philippines. I could have bought a larger quantity of gold in the kilo form and wait for it to rise, then I'd sell off, and I'm not going to just sit on it. But the bottom line is with immigration, we got to show income in the bank. We
Yes.
got to show property. I'm right in the middle of a spousal green card for my wife,
Okay.
and I have to show assets.
Right.
Gold's not going to show. I can't purchase physical gold. It's not where I could show it in a bank account.
I never recommend anybody bringing bullion over here anyway.
Well,
Jewelry is
I
different.
would have left it in the safe back in the U.S.
Yeah.
So I couldn't have brought it, number one. But I kept my money in the bank. So most of my income comes from interest earned, and whether it's CDs or investments, money comes through there. And a lot of I don't have any cost. The house is paid off.
Right.
So we have a 5,000-6,000 peso electric bill, and that's about it. And my eating.
That's not particularly high either.
So we don't. Yeah. So most of my
It's $100.
most of my expenses are paid through interest earned. With my, remember I told you I sold my property,
Mm-hmm.
and all of that money, instead of renting it, because people say, why didn't you just rent it? Well, renting it back in the U.S. and if I'm in the
You have
Philippines,
that rent mentality.
you gotta, a water heater goes out or whatever, a fire, and then people are in there trashing it. Who knows what could happen?
Yeah.
I didn't want to go through that.
Oh,
I
you
just
didn't want to
wanna-
rent your place
wanna
out.
make
Yeah,
it-
no, I
didn't wanna
agree.
rent it.
I don't. I've never had good luck with rentals. It's
Yeah.
where my father-in-law had the best luck with renters. He always had great renters, improve
Well-
the property, everything else. Me, I had the opposite. I always had terrible renters. They trashed the place.
If you could get a hold of the good renters like your father did, and
Yeah.
your investment climbs in equity usually,
Right.
and you're making a lot of money, or if you still owe on the house, the renters are paying your mortgage. But in my case, I didn't want to mess with it.
Okay.
'Cause every time I came to the Philippines, 3 or 4 trips when I was going back and
There'd
forth
be a problem
during
back
COVID,
home.
Yeah, my weeds would grow. I had a few acres there, and it would look like the house was almost abandoned after a while.
Right.
But I took my money from my house sale as it was paid off, and I just put it in the bank, and that money is making money.
Okay.
4 or 5%. It started out at 5.5. Now the interest rates are dropping, so I make slow money on CDs and investments like that, and that interest takes care of. Basically, I'm living on that. So my pensions and my Social Securities, and even part of my interest earned, that money just seems to pile up. And the more money I got, the more that's there.
You should watch the video. I just made it public. Kevin Tucker
Yeah.
on doing stock.
That's the
Stock options.
It sounds so complicated, but I
it
know
actually
it's not.
isn't. I just made it public. Watch it.
Okay.
And he's actually making 4 or 5% a month on the money.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay,
He's
a
making
month.
more than I am.
I know.
I got a guaranteed locked
Actually,
in.
it's not complicated. Stock options can be complicated,
Yeah.
and what I used to do was what he's doing. You'll have to watch it. He'll explain
Yeah.
it. It's not complicated. In fact, he'll be live here on. This will get out in the next couple of days. He'll be live here this Saturday, so I'll
have
probably
to
get
watch
this
it.
out tonight.
I thought about talking to him. Also, I have already have investment accounts through Swap,
Okay.
so it'd be pretty easy
You
to
might
do
want
it.
to look and check. Just use a couple thousand and try it.
But I seen that show. You guys were talking about it back
Yeah.
and forth, and it sounds. You guys made it sound so complicated, but he's saying, "Hey, it's
not
easy.
complicated.
It's 10 minutes." He's saying it takes me 10 minutes a day, maybe.
What I used to do was complicated. Okay, I started trading stuff.
Yeah.
He's not doing that. He's not doing
Yeah.
trades.
He's
Anyway,
yeah.
moving
He's-
on.
A quick nickel's better than a slow dime.
Yeah.
He has it figured out. I'm
he
gonna have to meet him.
He makes pennies, but he turns it over and over and
Yeah.
over and over and over.
It's
so
constant.
it ends up
Anytime you can
being
make
dollars.
anything. Anytime you can make anything in a day and it covers your expenses in the Philippines.
He trades by the week.
Yeah.
So
Well, if he's only doing it weekly, that's even
yeah,
easier.
he's not a day trader, but he's a week trader. So
I'll have to make a contact with him, and
yeah.
I need some lessons.
Well, watch the video. It'll be
Okay.
It's already. I just made it public, so everybody can
Yeah.
watch it.
I thought that was real interesting. So if you have money, get your money working for you.
Right.
I don't work anymore. I don't want to do anything.
Well, that's the other thing. You're retired, so you enjoy
I'm
your
retired.
retirement, and you keep busy. You travel a lot still, so that's
Yeah.
something else. And you don't really need excess money. You have plenty of
I'm okay.
available funds to
Yeah.
live, so you're fine. Let's go on to. Did we finish what we were talking about? The house or the investment, the gold. What about silver? Did you ever buy silver?
Never bought silver.
It was
You
in the
were telling me-
2022 range when I told you to get some silver.
Yeah.
And you said I'm waiting for it to go below 20. I
Now
says,
it's-
yeah, you'll be skin and bones
Now it's
buried
the-
in the grave before you ever find
now
below
it's
20
about
again.
33. So you had me convinced the other day. Silver I could buy a couple kilos or something just to keep it on hand.
Silver has a higher potential and leverage than gold.
Well,
but it's not a main metal, it's a follower.
It's a follower, but since gold's just skyrocketed, I was thinking about platinum and silver.
So do you remember platinum used to be higher than gold for many, many ages?
Or at least equal. And now, so I'm thinking platinum may follow.
Platinum
so I'm thinking,
is half of gold now.
Should I buy a bunch of platinum?
It depends. If they find uses for platinum like the converter that they did for the cars, platinum shot up.
Yeah, everybody was still in the catalytic converters.
I'm still pushing the silver. I'm sorry, I am. But the advantage of platinum is it doesn't take up much space with platinum. See, silver takes up a lot of space. It's physically larger.
Yeah, well, platinum is kind of like gold. You get an ounce for $1,000.
It's small, But an ounce of silver
takes up a lot of space.
Yeah, but an ounce of silver is, we'll say it's $33, $34 now, and you can buy it for $35, say, and 1 ounce, but it's physically larger for the same amount of dollar amount.
That's right. So you got to have some place to store it.
Yeah.
So you need the big safe.
Yeah, you need a big safe.
And of course,
not here. Don't bring it here.
I can't bring it here because then you got to claim it.
Don't bring it here.
It might get stolen.
Stolen, taxed, all kinds of stuff. Don't bring it here.
So one of the questions I had for the viewers and for myself.
Yes.
When you do buy a lot of gold, you get 1 or 2 kilos, 3 kilos. When you buy it at 1,000, then you sell it at say 35. Is there taxes involved?
Certain states, they do not have taxes on precious metals on the profit. I can't tell you, I can't be an advisor as to which states, but you can look it up. You can Google it or AI it. There are certain states that if you have an address in that state and you buy it through that state,
you might have to pay a capital gains.
Well, there is no taxes. Certain states there are no capital gains
I would think
on
like
precious
Nevada,
metals.
Some of those type of states.
Nevada doesn't have a state tax. That's the only thing I know. I can't advise on this channel for tax because I'm not an accountant. However, I do know that you can buy precious metals in certain states and not pay tax on the profit.
But there is some liability.
Liability as far as security.
Yeah. So if somebody who turns a huge profit on precious metals, it's kind of rough. And I imagine that's the same with this trading. I mean, because there's a paper trail. You're making
anything
money.
you do, of course, anything that you invest in, there's liability. There's there's a chance, but it's better than buying a car. Let's put it that way.
Most of my money is I don't make profits on precious metals. Mine is cash in the bank, earning interest.
There's liability in that too.
Oh yeah, banks could collapse, but
they have in the past, they are in China currently.
I keep them in American banks, in major banks, not in the little.
I don't care where you keep it. There's liability.
Anything could happen. But it's government insured. Unless the government collapses, then I'm in trouble. I'll be.
Or if there's inflationary, like they come out with the new money.
Yeah.
Well,
anything could happen. But I try to stay positive. I've never had a house burned down the whole time I paid for house insurance in my life.
Right.
Money's never collapsed.
But you can't, it would be detrimental. I did have home insurance for fire, but actually ended up having flood.
Yeah.
And I got paid very well because of Katrina.
Yeah.
Wiped out several homes I bought for investment in Louisiana.
Yeah.
Back in the day,
Yeah.
Let's move on to another subject. Okay. Do you have silver now?
I got it's more collectible stuff.
No, I'm talking about investment.
No big silver.
You should look into it a little bit. Okay, the next one is Vietnam.
Well, I'm ready to buy a kilo of something.
Well, buy it by the ounces.
Yeah.
Buy. You keep saying kilos, and
I keep
you
saying
can
kilos.
buy silver and gold in kilos. But
I'm thinking it's
troy ounces.
It's one charge instead of buying every time you buy a
The problem is when it goes up, you have 33 troy ounces. I think it's 33 or 35. 33.4, I think it is, or something like that.
Yeah.
Troy ounces in a kilo.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is it's larger money. If you have 1 ounce rounds, it's easier to barter or sell.
Yeah.
And you don't have to sell.
Maybe under the radar too. So
that's just 1 troy ounce is honestly the best investment you can.
Okay.
Like you get 1,000 ounce bar, but it's too heavy. It's 70 pounds to lug around.
Yeah.
So and it's a pain in the butt. And then somebody has to come with a large amount of money. Okay, and they're ugly anyway. They're ugly. They're poured ugly bars. They really are. There is 100 ounce bars that are nicely made by a couple mints in the States. But again, if silver goes up to 150 an ounce, which
that would be sweet.
Would be sweet, but the problem is you can't just sell it to the guy next door. It's too much money. So
Yeah.
and it's bartering. That's
a position I'm in, to be able to buy a
just
load of
because you
silver.
could buy a
If it
large
went to
bar.
150, I'd be sitting pretty.
Oh yeah,
I'm already
sure.
sitting pretty.
All right.
You know.
Well, then maybe you don't need it. But,
No, you always need it.
maybe you don't need it. I don't know.
You don't have to sit in economy class.
Just let the liquidity. You got to think about liquidity after the price goes up. You want to be able to sell it. And
you want to be able to move it fast.
You want to move it, and you want to be able to move some of it, not all of it. So, all right. Moving on. We'll talk. That's for a precious metal video. There's more to it than that. In any case, and make sure it's 999 fine. Okay, 3 nines. You can get 4 nines, but you pay a premium for it. There's no reason to get 4 nines. Okay, whether it's gold or silver. Now, Vietnam. Let's talk about Vietnam. So tell me a little bit about. You went to Ho Chi Minh City.
Went first trip to Vietnam. Went to Ho Chi Minh City, and we contemplated Malaysia, Thailand, all this stuff. But I'm an American. I was also taking my wife and sister and son, who's a dual. But so we were deciding where to go based on the hassle for visas and passports.
Is it a hassle? Is it a hassle?
Well, it's a hassle to do 4. It's a hassle to do 3 Filipino visas. So I went to a place. Okay, so Filipinos could go there with no visa, no nothing. They could just walk in.
Oh, okay.
Me, as an American, I got to get a visa to go to Vietnam. So it's real easy. You go online, you get an e-visa.
E-visa, okay.
You get an e-visa. Now, don't do what I did. What I did was I bought the tickets, the hotel, and I never insure it through Expedia. I just get it because I'm not going to cancel. I'm not going to get sick. But the problem is then I applied after I bought the tickets and booked the rooms. All of a sudden I realized, wait a minute, I got to get an e-visa? What the heck?
You got to be invited. It's a communist country.
Yeah, so you got to fill out some e-visa form, and I'm an American, put all your info down. And I didn't realize, I figured I could just, it's like buying a throwaway ticket. I figured it'll come right to your thing. No, it took over a week to wait. And my visa came via email 1 day before we're going to fly.
Close.
So I'm thinking, oh man.
And you had to be sweating, dude.
I was sweating.
Because you had multiple tickets.
I'm at multiple tickets.
They'd have to go and you'd have to stay.
I had, it's very cheap to go to Vietnam, $250. So I had $1,000 worth of flights for 4 of us.
Well, they would still, if you didn't have it, you'd have to wait and rebook yourself.
And they couldn't go without me unless I gave them my wallet.
You'd have to give them access to an income, yeah.
So bottom line is it came.
Thank God.
It came and we went.
Okay.
I had a layover flight in Manila for the night, so we stayed in Makati.
Okay.
And that's always nice to go to Makati. You haven't been, so I'm telling you, you got to stop in Manila.
Makati, huh?
Go through Makati, have dinner at a place called Blackbird. I love that place. It's a nice little European restaurant, and they used to sell this shiitake mushroom lasagna. So I'd go in there and get that.
Making me hungry. Okay.
It's just Makati's awesome for just a lot of stuff to do. It's a little city. It's like a little Vegas or something. All kinds of stuff. We spent the night there. Didn't have any time to hang out and party or nothing. We just had to be up at 4 a.m. to get to Manila Airport. And we jumped on the plane to Vietnam. The first dilemma I experienced was we're all in line. We're checking our bags. We each got a bag.
This is in Manila.
This is in Manila.
Okay.
The place where they, maybe some bullets get planted, stuff like that.
I've heard the stories, but I don't know.
I think they got that all under control now.
Yeah.
They don't want to, but anyway, so we were checking our bags and ready to get our tickets. Then the lady says, have you paid your exit tax tickets? And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? I've never heard of that. For Filipinos, they need to pay a exit clearance tax.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what? So before she give
me
tickets,
I'm sorry. You didn't need one because you have a 13A. You have a 13A.
Well, I don't have a 13A.
Oh, what do you have?
I have a visa to go to Vietnam. So when you go to a communist country,
don't you need an exit clearance for the Philippines?
No, I don't need an exit clearance. Now, when I come back into the Philippines, I have to show an onward ticket.
Yeah.
Like you're going to leave in a month.
Well, I know I need an exit ticket. Why wouldn't you need an exit ticket?
Well, I did, but they're not asking for it when we're trying to get to Vietnam. They'll ask you that when you come back into Philippines.
Before you leave the Philippines, they require.
You know what? Maybe they did ask, and I had that.
Before I want to make it clear because there'll be confusion. Yeah. You have to have exit clearance, and you have to pay fee, if you leave, when you leave the Philippines, not if, when you leave.
Yeah.
Okay, I
You
just
have
want to
to
make
show
sure.
you're leaving.
So you had to have one too.
Which is kind of ridiculous. But,
all right. Okay, but it is required.
But they told the girls and my son, because he came through as a Filipino, we didn't try to use his American passport, because then we would have to get a Vietnam visa for him. So he came in, and my wife and my sister-in-law went over there to pay the exit clearance tax. So that's where the Filipinos go if they want to leave their own country. Their government jacks them and takes money from them.
Yeah.
1,620 pesos.
Okay.
Big money for a Filipino.
Oh,
so we got that paid, got on the plane, went through security, easy peasy Japanesey. You know, we got all that stuff done. We landed in Vietnam. Now it's beautiful coming down. You just rice fields, beautiful green country, and I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be awesome.
You're seeing it as the plane
just
is
like
coming
Japan.
down.
It's just
when
like
you say coming down, you mean through the plane.
Down, we're just seeing beauty
through the windows.
Just a beautiful green country, and I'm thinking, oh, I could be riding my bike on this road or that road. It just looks awesome.
Right.
Landing, it just looks beautiful. So we land, and then we get off the plane and we go to the immigration area. Oh man, there must have been 100,000 people in line.
Right.
Because it's not only us in one little plane with 400 or 500 people, but it's
multiple.
It's crazy.
Uh-huh.
So we're in line, and they must have had 20 or 30 immigration officers. And bottom line is, we finally made it up to the front, and I had the guard wasn't very friendly, the immigration officer, and these guys are fully suited up. They look like military. They are. They probably are military.
Yes.
As Paul said yesterday, they had M16s or whatever, but he didn't whip out a gun on me, but he wasn't very friendly. And he asked for my visa, and I handed it to him, but I screwed up and I handed him, pardon my French, I handed him my exit clearance on an airplane ride out of the Philippines. This ain't a Vietnam visa. I need your visa. You know, and I'm like, he was gruff.
Right.
So I kind of pulled it out, handed it to him. Okay, move forward. You know, you're done. Stamp, I'm in. Now I'm sitting back waiting for my child and my wife and my sister to come through. And they made it. We're in. Now we're in, and we're high-fiving each other, and we're in. We got to the hotel after fighting about 10 guys out front for a cab.
But I know you had a problem getting them in. You had told me when we had lunch yesterday that they didn't have something, and she's
yeah. Well, that was leaving the Philippines. For all you guys out there, don't forget to get your we needed an e-travel.
E-travel. You need e-travel for everybody.
Need e-travel for everybody. I didn't need one because I had.
Okay, so that was leaving. I'm sorry, we went back. Okay, leaving the Philippines, you had a problem, but you got that solved.
We got that solved.
Okay, now you're going to the hotel.
We're in Vietnam.
You're in Vietnam.
We're walking out of the airport, and the first thing that happens in Vietnam for all of the guys who haven't been there, you're going to get hit up by a bunch of guys wearing white. And they want to give you a ride. Well,
yeah, they want to give you a ride, all right.
So don't forget, you're not in the Philippines anymore. Now you're in Vietnam, and everything is dong, not peso. So millions of dong you need to just eat daily. So bottom line is, we couldn't find a Grab driver. You got to find the Grab driver. You got to find a Grab driver.
How do you find a Grab driver?
They wear green, and it says Grab on the back of their shirt in white letters.
Everybody else?
Anybody wearing white or trying to grab, anybody who approaches you in Vietnam, they're trying to scam you. So don't look for the Grab guy, and they'll say they're a Grab driver. They'll whip out their card on their neck. They're not a Grab driver. They were trying to charge me 900,000 dong, which is almost $1 million, which is like $40. Roughly
to take all of you
take all of us
to the hotel
and 4 bags. So most of the guys that are charging 800, 900, those are ripoffs.
1,000.
Once you 900,000, almost $1 million dong.
Okay.
If they're charging you that much, it's a ripoff. The ride should be like $4 or $5.
That's it.
We finally found the guy.
I didn't think $40 was a ripoff, but okay.
Well, if you live in the U.S., it's not, because that's pretty cheap. Trying to go from L.A. to San Bernardino or something like that, it might cost you.
So
that
you
much.
found a Grab driver.
Found the Grab guy. And I knew we had the right guy because he was only 93,000 dong, which is about $4. It was $378.
Under $4
under
to take
$4
4 of you
to take us about 50 minutes to the hotel.
That's crazy.
In downtown Ho Chi Minh. So we were real close
God, that's
to everything.
cheap. That is so cheap.
So cheap. And so he dropped us at the hotel, and right away, it's just like the Philippines, man. They got the porters coming out, grabbing your bags, opening your door. You don't have to lift a thing. You just got to make sure you didn't leave anything in the cab. So find the grab guys. That's
How much do you tip the grab driver?
I think I gave him 100,000 dong, which was just about as much as he took us for.
How much US is $100,000?
No, I'm wrong.
Okay.
I had 100,000. I gave the guy from the hotel that offloaded my bags and lugged them up the stairway 50,000, and I gave 50,000 to the driver. So that's like a $2 tip. And every 25,000 is $1.
Every 25,000 is $1.
Every 25,000 dong is $1.
And you had multiple
50
bags to go up there. You had
we had 4 large suitcases one for each of us, and then we had our carry-on junk. But these guys will grab everything. So they each got a $2 tip. And they brought it up to the room. All I had to do was sign my name, check into this nice hotel. And then Vietnam was
How much was the hotel? Let's move back. We're going to go.
No, it cost me about $100 a night. But it's not just a
100
room.
US dollars.
100 US a night.
How many, was it one room or was it?
It was a suite. It was
a family suite.
It was a junior suite.
Okay.
Big place, living room in there, couple queen beds, a big room.
So it had multiple beds.
Well, it had two queens.
Okay.
Possibly kings. I don't remember, but it was a large suite, junior suite, at this hotel in Vietnam, named Bon Ami. It's right in the heart of things.
Okay.
So we got checked in. The room's beautiful. We're up on the 12th floor, I think. Beautiful view of the city. I loved it. I thought it was awesome. So now it's time to go outside. We got freshened up after all those sweaty rides, we all got cleaned up and said, let's take a walk, go find some coffee. Vietnam is known for coffee shops. They got them all over. Coconut coffee, egg coffee.
Egg coffee.
They have a Highlands coffee. We had a Starbucks the first day.
Did you have an egg coffee?
You know what? Egg coffee doesn't sound good.
No. Is it raw egg?
Well,
or is it cooked egg?
Egg coffee, I did a little research on it on Google. And what it is back in the day, they had a shortage on sugar, or they had a shortage on creamer. So what they did back in the war days, this was created around 69 or 68, back in the Vietnam War era. They took egg whites, not the yolk, because it's, we went to this coffee shop called Egg Yolk. That was the name of it, Egg Yolk. And it was a chain, right?
Okay.
So we get in there and we each ordered egg coffee, iced too. So they take egg white, whip it up like the meringue. Remember the lemon meringue pies?
Yeah.
They whip up the egg white and they add sugar. Then they take some espresso or whatever. They steam it and take a shot of some really good coffee. If you're a coffee aficionado, that's great stuff. They put the shot in there, mix it up with that whipped cream, and they use that because they didn't have creamer back in the war days.
Okay, so they're whipping the whites.
They're whipping the whites. There's no yellow involved.
Okay, that sounds better.
It's on their logo.
That sounds better. They whipped it. Okay.
It just didn't even sound good. Now, if somebody says we had coconut coffee earlier, and that was amazing.
But they call the place Yolk Coffee.
Well, the name
coffee
of this
yolk?
coffee shop up the street from that hotel was called Egg Yolk.
Egg yolk, but they don't use the yolks.
They don't use the yolks, but they use the egg.
So that's the yolk. That's the whole joke.
We met a guy from Cebu that happened to be. We met a guy from Cebu who happened to be in there, and he was an ex-priest. He was an ex-Catholic priest, and he met his wife, and he decided, well, I love my wife more than I love the church, so he retired from the church, I think. But he told us, when you're in Vietnam, you got to go to have egg coffee. Forget about Starbucks, that's junk. Forget about Highland or any other, go to get egg yolk coffee. You're in Vietnam. Okay. So we did, and you know what? When I tried it, I'll have to show you the video I made on
And
that.
what is egg yolk, which doesn't use the
amazing.
yolk? What do they charge for a coffee?
So for that coffee, it's kind of typical prices like Starbucks. It was about $3, $2.50, $3.
Which is actually in dong.
Which was I think it was like 65,000 dong or 63,000 dong.
Okay. Now, do you have to carry large quantities of bills?
So when you go to the ATM,
are they physically large? I mean, are the bills 100,000? I mean,
no, they make 100,000s and 50s and
50,000.
$500,000.
They have 500,000.
Yeah, 500,000 bills.
This is so funny
okay,
and strange.
So, guys, if you've never been to Vietnam, I forgot to tell you this, before you find the Grab driver, hit the ATM or the money changer. If you hit the ATM, put in your Charles Schwab card, pull out a couple million dong.
It sounds like a lot, but
It sounds like a lot,
but it's not.
But it's $37.
Oh my God!
Pull out a
couple million.
It's not that.
And dog itself, it sounds funny too, because I don't know. It sounds like, you know what, shit.
Yeah, I know. Mean, dong is.
Dog is.
Yeah, they could have found a better word. Right. Maybe mong or long.
So now we have
dong. You got long dong, and that's kind of funny because the bigger bills are longer. The bigger bills are longer.
Different
then when you start getting into the 50s and the 20,000, they get like monopoly money. But the big money's longer dong. So, if you could say that.
So if you find a fast food, is there a long dong silvers?
Long dong silvers.
I'm sorry. The jokes are going around in my head. I'm sorry.
It's an easy target, but you pull out some money from the airport before you get, because you're going to need it to pay the cab. The Grab cab guy.
Oh yeah.
So
you got money in the.
I hit the ATM up.
You hit the ATM in
yes.
Vietnam.
Yeah.
But could you get money here? Can you get dongs here?
You might
before
be able
you leave?
to exchange and get some dong before you go over there at one of the money exchangers, like Western Union maybe.
Yeah, Optimum Traders is pretty big.
You could do that.
They should have it.
But, ATM machines, and then, I did a little research, and I found there was two banks there. One is VM, as in Mary, and the other one's VT, as in Tom. And if you use their machines, doesn't matter if you have a Wells Fargo, Chase, B of A, whatever, they don't charge you a national transaction fee to use a non-bank. So if you have a B of A card and you plop it in the VM or the VT, and they're right there in the center of Ho Chi Minh.
Now, you were using a U.S. card.
I use a Charles Schwab everywhere.
What about if you have a Philippine card from a bank here?
You could use any bank
it's a
card.
Visa.
It'll work in the VM or the VT, and they won't charge you that $5 fee to
really?
use international.
There's no fee for using
fee.
it. What about the exchange rate?
They give you
it fair?
Whatever the current is.
Oh.
They give you the current
Very
rate.
fair.
So it's pretty cool. So you could use an ATM. I wouldn't use any of I'd use one attached to a bank. Don't use the ones in the 7-Elevens or the Circle Ks that are separate machines.
So they have 7-Elevens, they have Circle Ks.
Because they could be hacked maybe. They're privately owned. Use a bank ATM.
All right.
It's VT or VM.
I haven't seen Circle Ks forever.
There's one right across the street from the hotel you might stay in.
That's a name I forgot all about. Okay.
Circle K.
What about fast food places that we would recognize from the States?
Yeah, they do. If there's
is there
a mall,
is there a McDonald's?
Hey,
is there a Burger King?
I'm telling you, the place where I stayed is where you should stay. You walk 2 blocks, you're at the mall.
Bon Ami.
There's Burger Kings.
Oh yeah,
there's McDonald's.
I miss Burger King.
You got Denny's.
Oh my God, I miss Burger King. Flame broiled.
Yeah, flame broiled.
Oh, miss
Whopper.
That. Yeah.
You get one of those.
You're killing me.
So you're going to get all that American food,
right?
But I got to tell you, when you talk about food, so we're hitting all these coffee shops. They're beautiful. They're everywhere. The first restaurant we went in that evening for dinner, it was kind of fancy dancy, and I think I spent $60 for 4 of us, which was pretty high for Vietnam.
Sounds like it.
We didn't eat any street food, but I videoed it. It looked good, but I didn't eat it. We're going in a restaurant. But we discovered, I was sitting up on my 12th floor looking out in the world at night, and I seen something that said Taqueria del Sol. And I'm thinking, wow, that sounds like Mexican food. So I pulled it up online, and bigger than anything, it's a Mexican restaurant.
Within walking distance?
Within, a couple blocks.
Couple blocks of the hotel, okay.
Couple blocks. We were staying right near the Bintan Market, which is a...
Open market?
Open market, tourist site. They mostly sell fake products, watches,
Do you got any trouble bringing
a cheap Rolex, go there.
Okay, so if you bring in a knockoff name brand, do you get any trouble when you come in the Philippines with that?
We didn't. Everything I bought, I ate or drank. I didn't buy any. We bought a couple wooden cups.
Okay.
Or laser printed on them. We dug them, but we went to this Mexican restaurant the following day. We hit egg yolk coffee first, and then for lunch we walked up to the Mexican restaurant. I was like, wow, this place. We took the elevator to the 4th floor off the streets, and by their streets are nice. The sidewalks are wide. and they're flat.
Not like Dumagetti.
They're still working on them a little bit because they're paving everything around that whole area.
Okay.
But we get into the elevator, we take it up to the top on the 4th floor, and we get into this amazing Mexican restaurant. Now, for us guys in the Philippines, it's hard to find a good Mexican restaurant around
here in Duma.
Cali's Tacos used to be right up the street from you.
No,
They're closed.
they didn't make it.
But they were good. But there we hit a fabulous place, shrimp tacos, every taco. It's a taqueria, so they had every kind of lingua, every kind of taco you could want.
You're killing my diet because I'm thinking of all these things I want to eat. Oh, my God.
Well, just stick to the fish tacos. And I had fish tacos and shrimp.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't believe a Vietnam Mexican restaurant.
Was it American authentic or Mexico authentic?
It was kind of a cross between both because the tacos, the guy.
Or was it a Vietnamese type?
No. I would say, okay, so the guy is American, the owner.
Okay, that helps.
I was talking to a Vietnamese guy, and as far as the language, this guy struck up a conversation with me, and we talked for about 20 minutes. He was interested where I came from, and he was Vietnamese. And there's an accent, but his English was very well.
So an American owned a business there.
American owned the business, and they had a Mexican cook.
Oh, that helps.
Mexican
that
cook
helps.
that the guy brought.
So they have real
America.
beans and things like that.
Everything was great. And they even brought us. It was kind of a bar restaurant. So I got back to the table after doing a short video in there, and we had 4 shots of something. And it looked purple. It looked frosty, like a frappuccino, but just shot glasses. And I'm thinking, well, my kid's only 5. What's in this, And it was basically whipped up, aerated grape juice. But they were tasty, just a slushy.
Grape juice. Huh?
So we had those, ordered our food, and we loved that place.
How was their decor? Was it a Mexican style or Vietnamese
I'll have
style?
to show you the video. Yeah, they had it was made up after the Day of Death. What do they call that?
Day of the Dead.
Day Morta.
Dia Morto, yeah.
So the whole place had skeletons.
Oh, really?
And all that. And when we got done eating, they wanted us to come back the next day. They said, we'll be back. I dig this place. So they gave us, they brought us out a tray, a punch pin tray, and they said, take a pin on us. They brought out a whole flat tray of pins that you could pin on your shirt. And some of them were skeletons drinking a margarita or something.
Oh, okay.
Very cool little go-away gifts.
That's cute.
And I thought, how cool is that?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
The place was very friendly.
Yeah.
And we were in there early.
Sounds like the owner's got his thing together. He knows how to promote.
If you're American,
promote.
If you're American, I don't care what color you are, everybody likes Mexican food. You got to hit this place in Vietnam.
It's those little things that make a difference that owner can do.
It's basically straight across from the back door of the Bintan market, straight up the street.
Okay.
So easy to find.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah. So everything about Vietnam we loved. People were
cool.
friendly.
So once you got past the entry, customs and entry, everything else was fine.
Yeah, don't joke with the immigration guys. They don't have a sense of humor. Matter of fact, at the airport, nobody's smiling. Now, I don't know why. Maybe they just don't smile. Or
I'm going to have a hard time because I'm going to laugh and they're going to get pissed off at me.
Well, you're going to have a hard
I'll
time.
make fun of it. They're so serious.
Give us your real passport.
Oh, I know. I'm going to come in with Goldfinger.
Nobody's named Goldfinger.
They may not let me in. I never thought of that.
I always thought before you buy your tickets, make sure they'll give you a visa with that name, because Goldfinger, they're going to say, Goldfinger, what the heck? I mean, if you had gold for your first name and finger for your last, maybe.
Yeah.
But anyway, I want to see what happens when
you go to Mexico, they have half a dozen names. I have one.
You've been in Thailand, you've been in Mexico, so you've traveled with your passport. I'm sure it's good.
It's stamped, so they see that I've been to, different countries.
I think in person with that card, it's good, but I'm not sure how to work with the visa.
Mexico gave me a little bit of trouble, I will admit. But they finally, I showed them my driver's license and a badge that I had, and that let me in.
Hey, I was wondering, I had a question for you. Your name's Goldfinger.
It is.
I know, because you showed me your thing. You're all legal. But shouldn't you have a gold mic stand? I mean,
no.
I think you should.
You think I should have a gold mic?
I think you should have a gold mic, or at least some gold trim on there.
I put gold trim on my scooter.
I seen that. But no, you deserve a gold mic.
I have the gold nail.
But
I don't know if they can see it on the camera. Let me see.
Loved.
I don't know if
Oh,
they
there
can see
you go. I can see it.
I have a gold nail.
A little
but,
flashy.
Yeah.
I never noticed
I've
that
always
before.
had a gold nail.
Now, did they do that when you got your hair done? Or
No,
was that...
I do it myself.
Okay, so also we hit the girls wanted to do a pedicure, manicure, and I was all for it because it started kind of raining a little bit.
Uh-huh.
And I said, yeah, let's go sit down, and I'll have them give me a pedicure, trim my toenails. Never had it done before. But I thought, I'd get a foot massage, trim my toenails. Anyway, I took the girls in there, and my little son, Sammy, he just watched.
He didn't do it? I'm too ticklish on my feet for anybody to touch them. I can't. I'll start laughing.
Well,
and the minute they touch it, I'm going to start laughing. And then they all start laughing. You never get my toes done. Seriously, I'm too ticklish.
Well, we did it just to do it. And it's like the girls said, oh, that was not very good. They didn't. I don't know. They
really?
didn't do
Vietnamese are known for. That's when you go to a shop in the U.S. They're typically Vietnamese that do.
They are Vietnamese that do it, but typically they soak your feet and they massage them.
Yeah.
They didn't do any of that there. They kind of wet them. They soaked them in some water, dried them off, and then they trim your toenails. The girls got painted. I just got trimmed. I just felt good to sit in a lazy boy recliner for
fall asleep for
20
a minute.
minutes. And
do they have vibration on the chair? Some of them have heated vibration.
They didn't have vibration. They didn't have heated
like
vibration.
massage chairs,
At least I had a girl trimming my toes, not some dude.
I don't let a guy touch my feet, body.
Yeah.
Other than my hair, there's no guy. And I was a little apprehensive, to be honest with you.
I'm real picky.
With a guy to do my hair, to be honest with you, but he's very professional.
Yeah, hair's okay. But massage, if it comes to massage, I was just at the massage place yesterday, and I always request a woman, and it's nothing personal against the guys. But
as far as touch my buddy, it's not going to be a guy.
And you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, so, I know. I got it.
Toes, I don't need some dude trimming my toenails. I don't even need a girl doing it, actually. But it was kind of nice because I have a hard time, man, trying to do it myself on my feet.
Right.
Oh, I have long legs and they're hard to reach.
Yeah.
I'm not as.
I got a big belly. It's hard to reach. I'm short, but I got a big belly.
And I don't want my wife to do it. I don't like to ask her.
Oh, Carolyn does mine all the time.
Well,
she takes care of me.
She
does my toes. She in fact, she likes doing it. It's weird.
I'm trying to keep some mystery in the marriage.
Yeah, right. Your toes.
I don't, just
that's what a woman looks.
A
woman looks at a guy's feet. Did you know that?
Yeah.
We look at their butts. We look at their bosom.
Well,
we look at a lot of things. But women, they look at your feet.
Most of the time, the girls keep their feet up real nice. But
yeah,
you know what I am? You say butt and boobs and all that. I'm a face guy.
You're a face guy.
I'm a face guy. I got to have, and of course, I don't want, I want a beautiful face. That's for sure. I'm not a butt or a breast guy, but
I look at the personality. I see what's behind the face. The personality is very
in the face. But of course, I don't want, like me, overweight. So I try to.
Tell me about it. I'm actually losing weight, but still I'm way overweight.
You know what? Keep up what you're doing as far as. Okay,
I blew it last night. We're not going to talk about it. I had pasta.
Oh, you had pasta.
I had pasta.
So, okay. So
I got to start over today. But it's called, when you blow it, you just start again.
Ask forgiveness and
just start
repent
again.
from your sin of eating
You don't
carbs.
just keep going. So basically, okay, I had the breakdown. It's like a cigarette. You just start all over again.
Hey, cigarettes are worse. But if you eat an ice cream, okay, suck it up and don't.
Yeah, desserts don't do it for me.
Every now and then.
Pasta. My weakness is pasta.
Okay, so here's my rule of thumb how I lost weight. I started following when Justin did it, Critter Hunter.
Well, first off, I've known you for a couple of years. You were very friendly with me. You had invited me to meet. Yeah, you saw me and invited me to Gabby's with you and Bud Brown.
I think that's after you seen me and Bud having breakfast one morning.
And did I walk over and
you walked over and you
sounds like me.
You didn't know me, but you said
okay. That's how I met you then.
You said Bud. Oh, it's nice to meet you.
And then I met you, and you were very friendly. Okay,
I was having breakfast.
You were a lot heavier. This is 2 years.
I was about 285 pounds.
And you're now 230, you said, I think? Or
now I'm about 234.
Yeah, so you were a lot heavier.
I lost about 50 pounds.
So let's talk about that. And then how did you drop the 50, 60 pounds?
Okay, so what got me motivated what got me fat in the first place was I was always about 220, 225, 230 when I was working. But then broken the back thing, and you're at home, and for 5-6 years recovering, I gained a lot of weight.
So did I when I got hurt.
Not working, and then you're depressed because you're hurting, and you're taking opiates, all this stuff. So
been there.
After I got all off of that stuff, I was still fat. Now I'm sitting here fat. I'm a
And
fat
unhappy.
and
It's nothing
well,
worse.
I've always been pretty happy. I mean, even though I had been through a divorce and separated from my children and all this and that, but I've always been a pretty upbeat. I try to be a positive guy. But anyway, I gained a lot of weight, and it's fun to eat, man. You got to admit, it's like it's not.
Yeah, I like food. That's a big problem.
I love food too.
Okay.
So I came to the Philippines fat. I'm 6'2", 6'2.5". So I'm pretty tall, so I could kind of carry my weight. Most of mine was just belly
Okay.
and all that. But one day I was sitting around and I was watching Critter Hunter. I love his channel with his
Justin
underwater fish
Carmack.
stuff. It's relaxing.
Justin.
Puts me to sleep
Yeah.
at night when I'm watching fish and the octopus. He's filming cool
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh, he does. He does
Anyway,
underwater filming. So does his wife, by the way.
Well, yeah, exactly.
She's really good.
So I got my diving license from
Good.
a local Filipino
Okay.
friend of mine, but I'm also a diver, but not like Justin. That guy's extreme diver. It's his life. But
Let's
anyway,
give him a plug. Critter Hunter, and he has a new facility. It's supposed to be really going to be nice when it's all done. He's building it.
I want to go there and check out the bar, have a couple drinks with Critter Hunter.
We're going to have a
enjoy the
get-together
view.
there. I think we're going to end up having a get-together there as soon as it's finished.
He's getting there. The guy moves fast. I don't know.
He's a hustler. Okay, so
I
you
don't
lost
have his energy.
So you lost weight because
Well,
Justin
I'm
was
watching him,
Yeah.
and he went on this thing where he was exercising and losing weight. And
Yes.
I figured, man, if Justin could drop weight, I could drop weight, because he was heavier than me. I think
He
I'm
was
taller,
big.
but
He was a big boy.
he started doing it. And he was boxing and all this crazy stuff and eating. He tried carnivore. He tried all this stuff, but he was basically cutting back and intermediate fasting. So that's when I started to do it. And I think I mentioned that to Justin once. Hey, man, he was kind
So
of
that's like one meal a day.
well, I started doing what he was doing. I started out doing 2 meals a day.
Okay.
And just trying to eat light, but that's what I started doing. So here's what I do now. And I just kept following that pattern for the last 6 or 7 months.
Okay.
I wake up in the morning. I have my Yeti cup full of coffee, probably 20 ounces. I use honey now and
Okay.
milk from the dairy up here in Valencia. But
Okay.
I have my cup of coffee. Then I'll have my one meal a day. Like the other day, we had the filet mignon at Cafe.
Right.
Or my wife will make me some chicken or something.
But wait a minute. You sent me a message that showed me a place that you went to in the afternoon. Did you eat?
I didn't eat that afternoon. No.
Oh, okay.
I took my in-laws out. By the way, happy anniversary to my mom and dad. It's their anniversary today.
Happy anniversary.
43 years.
Oh, good for them.
But anyway, we're going to take them to lunch later.
Okay.
But basically,
So you just do the one meal a
I
day.
eat one meal a day, and sometimes I might be real hungry from the day before, so I might eat at 10 or 11, and most of the time I try to eat one between 1 and 3. So I don't have a set time, but it's basically the one a day thing. Now, if I'm hard up and we got to hit something like Jollibee, my son's hungry, we'll hit Jollibee. We'll hit Jollibee, and I'll tear off the crust off the chicken, and I'll eat the meat.
So
And that's it.
protein only. Okay.
I eat protein only. If God made it, I eat it. So if it's vegetables, fruits, anything man-made, I try to avoid. And that's stuff in boxes, the pastas, the crackers.
Okay. So you don't eat fruit.
I do eat fruit.
You do eat fruit.
Yeah, I'll have if I get hungry at night after my one meal a day, I might eat an apple. Last night, Angie cut up an apple and oranges. I ate some bites of apples and
All right.
a couple oranges, but that's all I eat every day, just once a day. Then in the meantime, you're burning from intermediate fasting. So it takes a while to not be hungry. And what makes you hungry is that pasta that you just ate, or crackers, or any
Yeah, I'm not a
carb.
cracker person. I'm not a dessert person or
That's
cracker
what
person.
converts
Pasta.
to sugar and gets you that addiction where your hunger pains again. You just go to God-made food, vegetables, fruits, meats,
Okay.
any kind of meats, but try not to eat the fried. If you go to Jollibee or McDonald's has good chicken too, tear off that
The
skin.
breading, the
Tear off
best,
the breading.
the best part.
Or go just get once a week I hit Cafe and have one of those fillets,
I'd rather get the roasted chicken. That way I can eat the skin.
The roast, well, I kind of lied to you a little bit. Now I remember as we headed home, we got oolong roasters. We were trying to hit the new chicken guy over there by the mall, some crazy guy with the beard, makes Turkish chicken.
I don't know it, but okay.
Yeah. But we didn't, we hit oolong, and I still tear off the skin off of that. But
You do, huh? Yeah.
the wife and the son loves the skin.
Oh
Sammy
yeah.
could eat.
It's like lechon. You like
Oh,
the skin. It's
Now, back in the olden days, back when I was young and working, we'd go to KFC, man. I'm munching that down, that skin and all, bones maybe even.
But that's breaded.
But
if you have non-breaded, you could have the skin.
Avoid man-made food.
Okay.
If you could just cut out any pastas because they convert, and I do eat rice still, a little bit of rice because it's not man-made, but I try to ease up on that.
Okay.
And I do eat potatoes, and that's how I lost my weight, just from basically eating once a day, zero exercise.
Well, you look great, by the way.
Weight loss is 80% diet.
Yeah, you look great. You look much better, and you look healthier.
Well, some people say when you lose weight, you get more wrinkles.
No, I don't see it. I see where you. I remember. You look good. You see it in your face.
You lost some pounds too.
A little bit, not
just
as much
going,
as you.
Don't give up. Just
been 2 years.
Keep working on it. And so let me see. So now I'm mid 230s, 50-pound weight loss. So pick up a 50-pound bag of rice, and that's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot to lose.
I know.
More energetic now. So
yeah, I'm sure.
The newer version of me. But my goal is 95 kilos.
Which is
about 200 pounds or something.
It's a little over
199, 200.
Yeah,
something like that.
All right.
My first goal is 100 kilos, which is 220.
Right.
I'm not quite there yet, but I'll get there eventually.
All right.
It's easy to do in the Philippines. You can't keep your house full of junk because they don't sell good junk here, you know.
They have garbage, but food. Carolyn loves the garbage junk. She grew up on it. She loves it. It's all over the place. I got to keep telling her, stick it up high where I don't see it. Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, put it up in that 12-foot cupboard
I know.
I can't even reach. I don't know who
all
built
right.
this house.
They have
maybe
high.
An NBA retired guy. Shaq,
they have really high ceilings here, too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like... It's perfect for a basketball player.
Yeah, I'm telling you. All right. I think we're going to wind it up because we've been running for close to an hour. I've got my hour
you
clock.
Talk a lot.
I talk a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been told that quite often. Okay. Yeah. So everybody, I appreciate it. Gary coming out. I hope if you stay this long, thank you for watching. And we'll get this up tonight. Okay. Say goodbye. Go ahead.
Adios.
Yep. Say goodbye.
Adios, muchachos.
Adios, guys. Bye-bye.